Hello and welcome to Dance Bants. I'm your host, and who am I? The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man. Yes, I am the Muffin Man, and I'm here today with Strickland Young. Strickland was a comp bunny growing up, and he became a junior associate with the New Zealand School of Dance, where he found his passion for contemporary. He was in Forsyth's One Flat Thing with Strut Dance, performed with the Dream Dance Company, and he's now part of Sex A with Eliza Cooper. He is living that independent contemporary dance life, my buddies, and he's here with me today.
How the bloody hell are ya?
Strickland, where are we?
We are on the wall of a Bondi Public School Year 2 art class, as you can see now.
What's your bleep?
I'm hoping that we can get Jason Coleman saying cue music.
Playback.
For the So You Think You Can Dance auditions.
3 big questions. What do you reckon?
I reckon this is so close. We're so close to being famous here on the pod. You heard it here first. I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Playback.
Yeah, I'm calling it, dudes. This will be the one. This will be the
This is
episode
the one that makes
that's
it
gonna
blow up. Have you ever shat yourself?
Yes, I have. The most recent time, I'm pretty sure, was at NIDA of all places. The playhouse, they call
The
it.
playhouse.
Our group was like the first group up of the morning, and I had like 2 coffees or something. Yeah, and I didn't really make it to the bathroom in time, but you know. It was kind of good though, because everyone just kind of like rallied behind me, and they're like, I was like, guys, it happened. Like I
Playback.
my pants. And they were like, it's fine. You set of clothes and everything. Everyone's like, I've got this. But I was like, I spent the rest of the day in my G-banger. So that was fun. Like the whole day in my G-banger. So that's my most recent story.
Are you afraid of dying?
Yeah. I love life. Like of course I'm afraid of dying. But yeah, I'm 100% afraid of dying. 100%.
Yeah, nah. Have you ever stolen something?
Yeah.
Do you have an enemy?
Nah.
Do you sing?
Nah. Not well. I love it, but
Can you play a musical instrument?
nah.
Ballet or jazz?
I'm going to go with what everyone else has been saying in ballet. When you think you're doing it really well, you're like,
Playback.
I am
Yeah.
prima.
KTJ or JFH?
KTJ for sure.
Beg tap or adv tap?
Probably adv tap, but not like street tap. I'm really like
Street tap.
I'm really like not
Or like
into
tap
that.
dogs?
Yeah, no, that's not me. I'm more like time step.
Wiggles or high five?
Probably high five.
Who was your high five member?
Jup. The Jup. Duh. It's a no-brainer. That's its name, right? It looks like a little grape in like the wall.
Wait, was there one called Jat? The one with dreadlocks. That's Kelly's one. Kathleen is Jups out of a little drawer in the wall.
Yeah, I was so enamored by that wall of like.
Yeah, like what's in the other
yeah.
drawers? Probably nothing because it's just a set. Isn't that sad when you realise that?
Left turns or left kicks? I'm asking you this.
Ooh, me, you know I love a left kick. Now that
This
I've
is true.
discovered
Now
that I have
you've
like...
discovered your left leg.
You're both, right?
Yeah, it's so unpractical to be a lefty at everything.
Yeah or nah?
Yeah, an index. Yeah, we can talk about. Maybe it is like profiting off contemporary dance, but like genre. We'll call it the genre chat. I think a few things need to be said about definitely like a little LGBT chat. More will come up, I'm sure, but yeah.
Let's start with the genre chat.
I think it's like become a thing lately and like just putting it out there. I'm not trying to sound like we're like the high and mighty like wizard of like genre and like especially contemporary dance, but it's just like I just see a few. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. There's like a few people out there who are just like using what they think is contemporary dance technique, or I mean, first of all, what is contemporary technique? But contemporary dance to like pander to the commercial maybe dance school world, and I think the teaching of it is like, or what they are sharing is like almost completely like false, because I'm like, you just know that these you haven't had the training. Like I'm sorry, but you haven't.
Yeah.
Like what you think the training you've had is not. I don't think you're teaching it safely, especially when there's a lot of safety involved.
When we discuss this, we take it personally because we've spent our whole lives working towards this. It's really hard to do. It's very vague to
It is
define,
a very vague, refined.
but it's just a feeling that people are taking the very bare minimum of what they've seen of contemporary, some like ideas of what,
Or,
flow or improv or like a bit of floor work.
Or what they've done at full
or
time.
abstract concept work, calling it contemporary, and then basing a whole business or getting a lot of work. And maybe it's jealousy and maybe it's spite. That's true. But also, because the contemporary company world is so like old school and under the radar, they don't really go by social media and stuff. A lot of cats can get away with almost biting. It's the same.
It is biting. It is biting.
It's become such a huge and important topic of dance discussion lately, biting and foundations in the street scene. But I believe that you can bite contemporary super hard, and cats be out there biting contemporary and teaching it when they don't actually have the background that is required to get away with teaching the street styles.
And exactly, like if we're going to have this genre chat about
Let's
the origin
play that
of
game
street
everywhere.
dance, we could be playing this everywhere. We're also like not trying to say that we know everything about contemporary dance or technique, because
you couldn't, and it's
you can't.
so huge.
But it's just like I'll only teach something that I feel like I really have a good grasp on.
So maybe like, what's a good example? What do we mean? Because we're kind of like beating around the bush here.
Everyone bites off Gaga, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, Emma Portner, Erica Sobel. Because people get to say like, oh, contemporary is everything. Contemporary is vague. It's like, do you know any pioneers? Do you know any companies? People say like, oh, if you haven't trained Vogue, don't go and do Vogue in a music video. It's the same.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, if you haven't trained ballet, it's the models doing ballet thing. It's like, you kind of have to call out the whole movement.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's nothing personal, but like,
it's to me, it's as bad as that.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like the shocker technique that is like kind of funny, but also like, it's disregarding the fact that there's an entire
playback.
Hundreds of people begging for a job
like
on
literally
our end of the spectrum. Like
we are. Like.
And maybe that's we don't put ourselves out there enough.
Yeah.
It's very like, I feel like it's taboo to post a video of yourself dancing kind of in the classical contemporary world. Because like a lot of people just don't.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Use their grams for that. You know what I think would be kind of cool is here's what would be constructive. If we can define a line of what is an acceptable amount of training or knowledge to pursue teaching contemporary dance. Because I think that's like the ish with, all the street styles is like, you shouldn't be teaching house unless you're a house dancer. But then when are you a house dancer? How many battles? How many people do I know? Like, how many different countries have I been to and experienced the underground? Like, where's that line that we need to define? Same here. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, as soon as you start taking that class from someone, whether they know 100% what they're talking about or whether they've had the experience. It's also like immersing yourself in all these other... Like you can't just stick to your one like little like improv-y thing. It's the noodling. That's it. It's noodling. Yeah. If we can just get away from noodling. I mean, we love to have a little wiggle.
Yeah.
But I love noodling, but the noodling's so vague. Like
maybe you should know like what the contemporary dance companies are in Australia for a start. And like maybe we need to say what they are. Is that pretentious? That's a bit pretentious.
Like do your research, but people can easily just Google right now.
Yeah, there's not many of them. Then you have your pioneers, your Forsyth,
your Cunningham, Horton,
your Limone, Alvin Ailey, Nacho, Giri, Ohad.
Playback.
We just sound extremely pretentious.
Probably. I guess it's a whole array of things.
There's a whole array of
if you can
things.
tick like a couple of those boxes, you're good. There you go. Now you can teach contemporary dance.
Yeah, like us. We know everything.
Yeah.
Auditions, nah. They're like the biggest ego killer in the entire world.
There's nothing quite, and you know what? Maybe that's another part of this us being pretentious wankers about like have you done any cattle call auditions? Maybe that's another one to tick off the box of things that
cattle
give you
call.
The right to teach contemporary. Have you
just been told
danced
you were
for 10 hours in a row in front of a panel
for 2 days,
and also you wait for 5 hours and you're trying to be warm all day. There's
I
nothing
know.
worse than
Trying to
that.
be warm all day, and then they give you like an hour break in between, and then you have to wait for the next group to go.
And then you dance for 20 minutes. They see you once. You get to do the exercise once. You mess it up, and then you have to
That's
go
it.
home.
That's it. You get cut at Tondus or something, you know.
And it's like, I have trained my
whole life for
for
this moment.
moment.
There's almost like no point going anymore, especially in Australia. Not that there's any to go to. Before COVID, like your mum's like, oh, like have you like gone to any auditions lately? I'm like, no, there's none. I don't know. Like, and then you'll go to one and you walk in the room, you're like, oh, never mind. Like you walk in, you're like,
They've already chosen.
you're like walking, you're like, oh, I see what's happening here.
Or they don't have any jobs and they're just holding the audition because they have to for
their funding.
Oh,
Yeah. You know how it be, but it's just like they're rigged. They're
Playback.
rigged these days. I guess
That's
they always have
true.
been.
Yeah,
Like
it's all
you
about
go-
your connections. How dumb is that?
I guess that's the way it is. But maybe we can change it. Everyone make your own stuff. Make your own work to like be in.
That's all. I'm all over that.
That's what we need to do. I'm sure you at home, listening, watching, feel the same as me and the Muffin Man here. That like the dance scenes,
Playback.
like we want to change it. And like, so we need to, so we should. We don't want the same
Playback.
10 people getting all the jobs because it is like that. And whether you think that or not, like whether you believe that or not, it's true.
And yeah, well, equally, we can go around doing what we're kind of doing right now, which is like being spiteful and being
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, there's nothing here for us. But we got to change.
We're
we
going to
have
change it.
to
We're
change
the
it
ones
ourselves.
we're
There's
making
no
it.
other
Yeah, exactly.
option.
It's pretty cool. Like now, everyone is kind of starting to do that. Yeah.
We need you.
We definitely need it. I mean, is this
Word.
time to plug ourselves?
Yes.
Funny that we're talking about this. This is just like crazy that this even came up.
We're teaching a class.
Only teaching stuff that we're good at and we know.
If more than 2 people turn up.
Yeah, and like it's gonna be cheap as chips. Like we're gonna be saying stuff, you know the good one-liners. Like I'm just not sure why you guys aren't picking it up. Like it's just I can't break it down any further. I'm also not sure why you're marking this run through. It's just like if you're at an audition, like you'd be out of the door. I start judging you as soon as you walk in the door. That's when the audition starts, babe. When you stand at the side of the room, are you leaning on the bar? Are you not? I'm watching. Do you want this job? Also, you know when you're like a tween and you're in like jazz class doing like progressions across the floor and your teacher's like chasing you across the room.
Slapping
That's
you
us.
on the back.
That's
That's
100%.
us.
We're gonna be doing that. This is like a Forsyth arm or like some talk. I'm like, do you guys even know? Do you guys know your Forsyth? Yeah. You should probably look that up. Like how we were saying literally about 5 minutes ago. Swear and work hard. That's what we are going to provide. Once we blow up, you're going to want to be there. And then we're going to be having like limited class numbers and like guest spots. And
I will start wearing sunglasses.
you're going to want to be there when we birth.
Here's something positive. I know The Simpsons at the 1997 Rock Eisteddfod.
Oh, this a different world.
Strickland sent me this video recently, which I honestly think it's got to be one of the best videos on the internet. I know
It's so artistic as
it's
well.
like so
High production value.
I could honestly spend an hour breaking this down, I think.
Our performance tonight is based on the 7 deadly sins. Don't The Simpsons. Love them or hate them, The Simpsons are part of the culture of the 90s. What we want to know, is it too spicy for you?
They've put so much time and effort. You know they spent like hours making the props, doing their hair on the bus on the way in. They travelled like 2 hours to get here. It's cute as
Playback.
Just the fact I think that they are just so into it and invested.
it's that.
It just really makes me
It's
like
like
just
this-
really warms your heart.
This
Like,
beautiful pre-social media thing
Yeah.
of like, they're so unaware of how naff this is that it's actually dope.
and because there's no social media, like they have nothing to compare themselves to.
Yeah.
And like,
So it's like pure originality.
do you know that each school came into this being like, we are the absolute best.
And we are going to
Yeah.
win this thing.
Look at, and also I'm just gonna say
Sweet.
they are so clean. And look, they're donuts.
Story.
The Homer Simpson's donuts.
You can even tell that no one's jealous of who got the main part.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I back that. Sally deserves to be Homer.
with her
'Cause she's
with
got
her
the
swimming
charisma
cap.
for it.
But my favorite part is that Maggie doesn't get up until she does a back handspring and just goes back down to the ground. Boom. Oh, 2, 3, 4.
So laboured.
4 back handsprings back to the ground.
The other thing about it is like they're so innocently unaware of how inappropriate it all is. Like it's really messed up. Like you'd think that no one could come up with this unless they're on a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
But, like just kids came up with
This is something I'd want to watch on a lot of drugs. Whoa, layout. Like, again, I'm going to say it one more time. Production value. And like they're all the legs.
Like I want to say the amount of effort put in is unnecessary.
It just really goes to show that almost anything in unison en masse looks amazing. You know.
That was totally spicy. Thank you very much indeed. Real depiction of those 7 deadly sins.
It was busy, bright. The group work was well spaced and timed. No, it's not too spicy for me, Harristown. 7 deadly sins. It was a really good.
She is
strong
living in her
and the
sparkly
recreation
little
of the
shirt there.
Simpsons, That was very clever.
her red
the
lip.
She's a little bit
march
drunk.
Yeah.
It's like capturing the evolution of civilization in a moment.
Yeah.
That's a moment that has passed. Just want to know how that feels, man.
Yeah.
No fear. That's freedom. Nina
That is
Simone.
freedom.
So what are we watching now, Strickland?
We're watching probably something that no one else cares about,
Yeah.
but you and I.
We care about this a lot.
This is like some dance competition in the States, and it's like all these amazing like young dancers. Normally in a non-COVID year, they're all on stage improvising in front of a panel of judges,
Yeah.
one by one. But now because of COVID, it's on via Zoom. Which has been this good at like 17.
Yeah, right.
She's
Wow.
so going to be in a company like in 2 years. Oh,
That's the dope
what?
thing about American competitions at the moment is they're bridging that gap between
They
the
really
company
are.
world. Hard.
They really are.
Like,
and why are we so behind? on
West
it?
Side is doing that hard. Scary thinking about the future of dance because like the skill level is getting so high even in the young age
Yeah, like where's it
that
going?
it's just unparalleled.
Yeah.
Segue. The stigma against being a male dancer.
Something that kind of like really grinds my gears a little bit is this notion that you have to like prove, like if you're an observation I've seen as a gay man person, human, proving that you're not gay, like as like straight male dancers are like, I've noticed it. Like I really have to prove that I'm a male dancer and I'm like macho and like, and I guess our industry does like feed into it as well. Like I'm looking for a strong male dancer, like the man and the woman. And like you still hear like straight male dancers talk about their growing up, like how they've been bullied and like, you know, they've been called gay or faggot or homo, like growing up, and like me too, like not totally not discounting your experience or trauma and everything like that. But like, I still hear straight male dancers be like, yeah, it still hurts. Like I'm traumatized by it. Like I'm still uncomfortable when someone says that to me. And it's like, what that says to me as a queer gay person is like, oh, so if you're still offended by it as an adult, then clearly you still think there's a problem
Yeah.
with being that.
Yeah.
And how is that meant to make the hundreds of queer dancers, because we're everywhere, you
Yeah.
know, like
I get there is definitely a place for like proving that it's, I guess they're trying to prove that it's okay to be a male dancer
and be straight. Great.
But that's
Great.
not really the way.
That's not, I don't think that's how you should be attacking because the issue is like the bullying, not
Yeah, and it's also,
Not
but
me
yeah,
trying to
I've
prove
seen
how
this
straight
too.
I am, you
That
know?
proving that how straight you are is proving how not gay you are.
yeah, like
And how-
not okay with it.
Yeah.
You subconsciously may seem to be. Again, I will like reiterate this. I'm not discounting like your experience that you had, because it's awful. It is awful to be called all that stuff while you're growing up. I don't want to say even worse, but like, I mean, when fair share of that growing up, and like especially when you're young and you don't actually know like what you are, whether you are or not, and being told by like people in like a bullying and derogatory way that, oh, you're such a homo, like you're a fag or whatever because you dance or whatever. It like, and then you're yourself, you're so confused as a young person, and then you're like, maybe I am, and because I'm being bullied for it, therefore I'm gonna suppress it. Yeah, and I still think like today there's dancers like our age, you know, that have like, you know, like so have suppressed feelings like this or suppressed who they are because of this whole conversation about trying to promote like it's okay to be a straight masculine dancer, and like, which then insinuates it's not okay to be a male that's like, or you identifying as male and then dancing or being more feminine. Like that's pretty
wow,
much,
that's so.
That's
Playback.
saying by
True.
saying this, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting better.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like we're making strides, good strides, but you know,
yeah. Wow.
we can always do better.
Hard.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Sick. Strick.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Nice. You too.
Yeah. Thanks for hooving me. Oh, no, yeah. Last thing, come to our class.
Come to our class.
Classes. You'll want to be there once we're famous.